Hey guys, welcome back to the game. Anand against Kamsky, the favorite game of World Champion Magnus Carlsen. And we stopped right here after the move f5, and obviously now White has to move the knight. And he moved the knight to g5. Black played rook e2 and still looks pretty dangerous because, well, all the black pieces are aligned and active and pointing kind of against the white king. And here actually Anand made a mistake. He played knight f3. He should have actually taken on f5. It looks crazy to take this pawn, but it works all out. So rook f8 was probably what Anand feared, but now queen h3. If black takes on h3, well, the knight simply protects the pawn on f2, so that's fine for white. So queen to g6. And here white is actually having two possible moves, which both ensure him an advantage. One is f4. Looks crazy, I know, but it works out. h6 and now f5. And black pretty much has to take. And now again, this rook coming down the a file, very important. And black has to play rook f8, and obviously now, after one pair of rooks is exchanged, black is not able to create any threats against the white king anymore, really. So white is simply up a pawn here and has good winning chances. And the other move possible would be queen g4, actually. Because black is not really able to take on f2 in any convenient way. Again, rook f takes f2, fails due to rook a8, and rook e takes f2 would allow white to play queen e6 check. So black probably has to move the rook back to e8, and now h4, and white is also better here. So Anand missed this opportunity to obtain a very good position. Played knight f3. And now, well, Kamsky played quite an amazing move. Rook 8 to e3. This looks pretty dangerous for white now. A very nice move. The idea is obviously to free the way for the queen to take on f3 and then have some mating ideas against the white king. So white cannot take on e3. He has to play something else, and he played rook a8 check. Well, f takes e3, pretty simple. Queen takes f3, yeah, and that's it pretty much. Queen g2 can only be prevented by queen takes e2, but then black is just up a queen. So doesn't work. And also bishop takes e3, queen takes f3 is pretty much the same thing, because the white problem here is he cannot prevent really black from playing knight takes e3. He cannot move the bishop because then queen takes f2, and he cannot protect that guy either. So for example, rook a8 check, king f7, rook a7, knight takes e3, rook takes c7, king e8, and queen takes e3 check, rook takes, rook a1, but black is able to defend against the mate with rook e7, and it's just winning, obviously. So Anand played rook a8, and you might ask, how does it help him in any way? Well, you will see. He has another move here up his sleeve, knight g5, great defensive resource. And the idea is black cannot take this knight, because now white is actually not taking the rook on e3, but the rook on e2, because this rook is pinned now, and white is winning here. Rook takes e2, bishop takes g5, and white is simply up in exchange in the endgame. So black has to move his king again, and he played king g6. And since now the knight is not hanging on g5, on f3 anymore, excuse me, white can take on e3. Knight takes. Well, obviously now white cannot take again because of queen takes h2, but well, he can play a different move. And Anand played a strong move here. I mean, I think it's quite difficult to see. He played rook f1. Such a paradox move, because the rook is attacked and you simply move it to another square where it's attacked. But it is indeed the best move in the position. Let's have a look at some other moves. For example, let's say rook e8. Seems like a decent move to pin this knight, but black is depinning it with knight g4 and threatening mate, and white has a problem because he can protect against the mate obviously, but then simply this rook is hanging on e8, so that's no good. Another possible move would be rook a6, but now king takes g5, h4, king h6, and now rook takes c6, g6. Black king is pretty safe, and well, the white king is not so much, and already material wise black is pretty much fine. He has knight and bishop, but really the problem is this threat of queen f3 and mate on g2, and it's not clear what white is going to do against it. So rook f1, and there's actually a threat now of rook f1. The threat is to play h3 to simply be able sooner or later to take on e3, or maybe also to have the idea with g4. I'm just seeing that idea, h3 followed by g4. So now black took on g5. If he takes actually the rook, then white should play knight f3. If he takes on f1, black is, I believe, be able to achieve an equal position. With rook takes f2, king takes f2, queen takes h2 check, king f1, bishop takes g3, now threatening mate on f2, queen f3, and now king takes g5. And quite a complex position on the board, obviously, because white is up in exchange with black is having 3 connected pawns on the king side, and that should be roughly equal. Queen g2. Of course, white is not black is not exchanging queens here, just queen h4, and it should be about equal. But Kamsky played king takes g5. Good move. And Anand answered with rook e8. Yet again, a very strong move. In general, the quality of this game is incredibly high. Incredibly high. What else was there maybe to play? Maybe h4, but it doesn't really help. King h6, and white can still not take the knight on e3. Queen g4, e4, but simply f takes e4, and the white queen cannot protect the pawn on g3 anymore. Alright, so rook e8, and I believe it's time for another break. So see you in part 3 of this exciting game, Anand against Kamsky.